Welcome back. We've given our bread dough an overnight rise, and as you can see, it's significantly larger. And today we're going to shape our bread, or our boule. A boule is a French word for a round rustic loaf of bread. So let me show you what we need in order to bake the bread. We're going to need a heavy lidded pot such as this cast iron one to bake the bread in. It has to have a cover because that's going to trap the steam and replicate that $3,000 or $4,000 steam oven that we spoke of earlier. We need a bowl, just slightly smaller in diameter than our baking vessel. These dough scrapers come in handy, not essential. We need a good quality parchment paper and a flat surface to shape our bread on. So let me show you how to shape the bread. So what I'm going to do is lightly flour the board, prevents the dough from sticking. Now we're going to take the dough and just scrape it right out onto the board. Now this is what I call my north, south, east, west fold. Once again, it's going to redistribute the yeast and help facilitate the next final rise. So there's the north, there's the south. You fold it over approximately halfway over each time, and that was the east, and now the west. It's already starting to form our boule. At this point, I want to take away some of the excess flour and begin gently folding underneath. It's kind of a cupping and circular motion. If you get real large holes like that bubble there, you can pop them, or if you really enjoy having a very large crumb, as they call it, you can leave the bubbles in. If your hands stick, a little bit of flour at this point on the edges isn't going to hurt. You can literally take this dough and seal the bottom like this, or on a board or a countertop without a lot of flour on it. You can rotate it and drag it. What we're doing is forming a skin on the top of this loaf and sealing it on the bottom all at the same time. So again, you can make this cupping circular motion, folding it under, making a beautifully round loaf, and then put a little pressure as you going like this, and the bread is actually going around clockwise. It's sealing on the bottom. And that's all there is to it. You've got a nice skin on top. What that's going to do is seal the CO2 that's produced by the sourdough yeast or bacteria, and it's going to let our bread rise properly. I'm rubbing flour on the top to make it look rustic after it bakes. You can lift it up with your hands or with these scrapers right now. Set it right on the middle of your parchment paper. Now, I'm going to lift the four corners. Place it right in our bowl. Unfold a few of those folds and dust it with flour one more time, lightly distributing it on the surface. Now here's where we have to wait again. This is the final rise, which may take, depending on the temperature of your kitchen, anywhere from an hour and a half to maybe 3 if the dough is really cold. I also like to take a clean kitchen towel at this point and cover it so that the drafts don't get to it. So let's wait till it's approximately doubled in bulk, and we'll get to the next step. Take a visual as to the size of the loaf, because before it's quite double in bulk, there's another step. Cover it up with a clean kitchen towel to avoid drafts, and When it's starting to get close to double in bulk, I want you to put your lidded pot inside the oven and set your temperature for 485 degrees. As your bread rises, the double in bulk indicator of its readiness for baking is a pretty good visual. But to give you another hint, if you take your index finger and press about a ½ inch into the dough, if it pops back up like it did there and pretty much repairs the hole that you put in it, it's still rising and it's not quite ready to bake yet. Looks like another half hour, 45 minutes, we'll give it the test again, and if the indentation doesn't repair itself and it stays in the top of the loaf, it's time to bake.